Welcome to the Becky channel. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I will be making Galapao or Lao steamed bun. I'm going to start off with showing you the ingredients that I have. The first thing is going to be all-purpose flour. Make sure it's unbleached. I believe that if you get bleached, then it kind of gives a different type of taste. Like it's not going to taste so good. Next, I have here cake flour. And this cake flour, I got it at a local Asian store, local Hmong store. But you can get any type of cake flour. And this cake flour will help soften up the steamed buns. Okay. Next is sugar. Clearly, granola sugar. And then we have here milk. If you don't have milk when you're making the steamed buns, feel free to just use warm water. I just want milk because it does tenderize the buns a bit more. Go ahead and use any regular oil, vegetable oil, for the steamed buns. I just picked out this one. Okay. And then these two other ingredients are really important that I use both hand in hand. Actually, the baking powder and also instant yeast. So this instant yeast means you do not have to mix it. You just throw it right in with the batch. And obviously, measuring cup if you need it. Some people just eye it, you know. And also parchment paper, like paper that you buy to like bake cookies. Also, obviously a stirring bowl for your dough. All right, so let's move on to the filling. What I'm going to start off with first is the protein, and the protein I'm using is ground pork. If you can't eat pork, you can definitely try to substitute it with chicken, beef, or turkey. Next, I will be using shredded black fungus. You don't have to get the same brand as I do. Just make sure it's like a fungus type of brand. Next is the green onions. Next is Chinese sweet sausage. All right. And then here you go is hard-boiled eggs. The sauce to flavor, the filling, I include oyster sauce, black pepper, dark soy sauce, hoisin sauce, of course salt, chicken flavor mixture. This is a replacement of MSG, just letting you know that. If you don't eat MSG, you can use this. And lastly, but not least, and you're probably wondering why I would even include this in the filling, but then you'll see it at the end. Tapioca starch. All right, tapioca starch. This will change your life when you're making Galapao. All right, well, we have it here, all the filling that I use. So I'm excited to show you how to do it. Come and join me. All right, we're gonna start off with the all-purpose flour. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 cups. 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 2 cups of cake flour. Okay, 1. 2. Okay. Okay. Next is a yeast. Yeast, be careful. You only want to, honestly, I just go with half of this packet, okay? I'll put the specific, like, specific measurements later, okay? And then next is the baking powder. Okay. I just use half. Next is sugar. Use 2.5 tablespoons. Okay. And I kind of like to stir it first nicely. I like to start off with the dry ingredients first and then put in the wet ingredients. I put about a cup and 1/3. Oops. Okay. But this is probably like 2 tablespoons. Okay. So I kind of do the little stirring. Okay. And then I'm going to take my KitchenAid mixer and then let the KitchenAid mixer do the rest. Okay. Now we're going to put it in the mixer and let it do its magic. Okay. And then I'm just going to take it out and then I'm going to start kneading it. So let's take it out of the bowl now and return it to the all right, so you want to knead your dough really well, making sure that everything is make sure that everything looks good. Okay. Okay. Let it sit and cover it with some saran wrap. Okay. And while the 30 minutes are going, we can start with the filling. Okay. Okay. Okay, so then I'm going to show you how I cut my filling for the Galapao. Okay, so I usually just like cut the egg in 4s. And if you have different sizes of eggs, just remember that it needs to fit the Galapao, okay? And that's really dependent on what kind of dough you, what size dough you have. There are others who do use quail eggs, which is actually a lot easier. Quail eggs, you know. I just don't, because I do just prefer regular chicken eggs. Now I'm gonna cut the chicken sausages. I mean the Chinese sausages. And again, every time I cut this, I imagine myself putting it in the little, fitting it in the Galapao. So make sure it's thin slices so it will fit the Galapao. Okay. Okay, next we have the Fungus. Try to make it a little shorter so it's easier. Okay, next is the green onions, and so I like to just chop it thin. Okay. Chop it thin. It's going to be going into the filling, and you want to try to get rid of the bitterness the most, but you also like that flavor. All right. So I'm going to do the rest of the filling. And then I'll show you what are the ingredients that I'll show you how to put the green onions and the fungus into the mixture of the protein. All right. To do the ground pork filling, what I usually go with first is throwing in the herbs and the fungus. I like to obviously throw in the dry ingredients first and then throw in the wet ingredients. So okay, you got the green onions and now got the fungus in here. Okay, so kind of like to massage it in first. Just so it gets in there. And remember when I told you that I was going to show you how to put in the tapioca starch? Well, this is it right here. Tapioca starch with water. What this does is, so when you're eating your galapao, the filling stays together. So I just put a little bit in there, okay? To kind of help it stay together. So I'm gonna sprinkle in chicken flavor. I'm gonna put in some black pepper. I'm gonna throw in some soy sauce, some dark soy sauce. We're gonna put in some hoisin. Obviously, don't forget the salt. Now, when you put it in the sauce, now if you don't want to like touch it with your hand, go ahead and use a spoon at this point. But since my hands are kind of already a mess, I'm just gonna go in and massage it at this point. Make sure you do a good massage in there, okay? So let's get the breading done, breading out of the refrigerator and start filling them up. So we got our dough here. Okay. So what you want to do is form a long dough. I mean, this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it like long, like bread long. Okay. So for me, I'm gonna cut it uniformly, okay? So let's do like this much. This might be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to put these together. Okay. So you want to roll in and ball. Okay. 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 My dough is a bit more gluten than I had anticipated, but you know, if you don't want it, if you want it a little bit more soft, add more oil and cake flour to it, okay? For me, I'm okay with this. This is actually pretty big, but it's okay. That means I can double stuff it. Okay, you want to take egg and sausage. And then what I do is basically fold it half. Okay. Fold it in half. This is the tricky part. This will test your patience. Okay. This will test your patience and your technique. So then I just like try to fold it in like this and kind of twist it a little bit. Okay. Just so it's secure. Okay. And then you put it on a parchment paper. And voila! This is how it should look like in the end. Okay. And I'm going to do the rest on these. Alright, we're going to put it in the steam buns now. Into the steamer. Make sure there's some space between them. Okay. And we're going to let it sit for about 20 minutes. And it should be good and done. Okay. All right, now that we're done, we're going to be taking the Galapao and cutting it so we can see the end product. All right, so here you go is one. Okay. And I'm going to cut it open so we can see the insides and have a taste. Okay. Okay. So this is how the Galapao is when it's cooked and done. Okay. And we're going to do a taste test now. We have to let it, like, oof, it's gonna have to cool off a bit. But as you can see, you see the egg, you see the pork, and you see the chicken sausages, the pork sausages, and the fungus. That's kind of how you want it to turn out. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I want to take a bite out of it. Tasty. The bread is very fluffy. Okay, well, guys, I'm going to continue to eat. But I hope this video you found was helpful. Bye.